right, so I wanted to go over the Euro AUD trade that I gave out that hit TP. Very, very simple, beautiful textbook trade. Before we start, Euro obviously had this big flush down, and you know, obviously the market always needs to come and fill in these gaps. That candle got filled in, and this whole move got filled in, and this got filled in. So now when the market fills in gaps or imbalances, when it does that, I'm looking for the next move, right? So I already knew that Euro somewhere, what was it, Friday? Euro had some interest rate news that needed to happen, and I knew that Euro was going to act goofy all the way until interest rates come in. And actually, the interest rates were good for the European Union, but Australia's interest rates are actually still better than Euro AUD. If you don't know anything about trading currency, the one with the highest interest rates and the best inflation and GDP and all those things are the ones that's going to trend the most. So AUD is stronger, fundamentally stronger than Euro AUD. So now that I knew that the moves were filled in, I see that there was the zone that's right there. We got a zone right here, a supply zone. I like to cover up my wicks. So as soon as the news came out, before the news came out, I knew this is where I wanted to sell off of. So I came over to the H4, and this is what I saw. Looks very better on the H4. Let's move this to the side. All candles are filled. This was a zone on the lower time frame, so traders are probably looking at the M to break down, but I knew that this was the zone that probably gonna grab the liquidity, then come down. So this is what happened, and we caught it. I didn't come out yet. We were going to like right here, because you can swing it back down, but if it don't go down, whatever. I like to just get the initial move, and then we'll look for pullbacks and then get back in. So this was the initial. As you can see, the doji happened and closed. Then this candle broke. When we trade supply and demand, we usually got you guys aggressively in, because the first couple of days of the weeks, the market was kind of dry, and we wasn't getting what we needed out of it. But I knew that we was gonna finish strong. So we were already at this point, already after the news, somewhere around 82 pips. That move made it 131, and this is what happened. We took the trade. We're out the trade, so go back and get back in, because maybe interest rates are higher. So I'm looking for sales. I'm not really looking for buys at this point with Euro AUD. Euro AUD is 2.5%. Australia is like, I wanted to have that trade breakdown. That was a really good, decent trade for the week. Hit our TP. We were cool. Well, obviously, we had other trades. What I want to talk about is Euro GBP. Now, Euro GBP. Let's take this off. We're in the trade already. We're in profit, because I got you guys in, actually taking it right there. The reason why we can get a quick little trade in and then pull back, and if it's giving us bearish behavior off the supply again, we can get back in. So it's not, we can make multiple trades out of this. Now we have Euro had his news. Matter of fact, let's go there to Forex Factory, so I can show you what I'm talking about. Calendar. Let me was it Thursday, Friday? There it is. So we had the Euro news right here. The summit, the president speaks, and here's the press conference. But this is the one right here. Monetary policy statement and main refinancial rate. So as you can see, it's at 1.25% rate. It was at 0.50. it increased to 125 for euro. So now for a little, until the next time they do the refinancing rate for the central banks, euro will be at 1.25% interest rates. So with that being said, for euro GBP, we're sitting at this supply, right? And we do have GBP refinancial rates coming up soon. But before, I don't know when it's coming up. I think it's sometime next month. But on Monday, we have GBP has GDP MM. What that is the change in total value of all goods and services produced by the economy. Now, if this thing is great for GBP, actually it says usual effect, actually greater than forecast, good for current currency. So with that being said, for our Euro GBP, if we get some good news with that on Monday, while you're asleep at night during London session, then we will have the spike down. We'll have a spike down at this supply. But until then, this is going to sit here probably Sunday night, play games, probably go up into the zone a little bit. Then the GBP news will push it down. And honestly, I think we might have some little range in this area for a while until GBP's refinancing of the central bank news comes out. And whatever, if it's greater for GBP, like if GBP stays the same, we'll still see some selling pressure. If it's great for GBP, then this is, and when it breaks, it's gonna fill in all of this. All this is, now that I look at it, that's why I got us a short term sell in and we're already in profit, because if you come over to the weekly, we did have, if it breaks this area, if it breaks this area, I'm telling you right now, we're gonna have to look for buys, because this whole thing will be filled and it'll probably come all the way back up to this supply right here. When it comes back up to this supply, then we could take another selling opportunity and get some quick pips, but that's all depending on the interest rates. When it comes to Forex, it's interest rates, it's inflation, it's unemployment rates, it's the GDPIM/M, which is what that is right there. All of that plays a factor in how the market moves. And obviously we're technical traders, but it's really good to see what your currency is doing and how it's performing in all of those aspects, so you can get better trade setups. Because I'm telling you right now, if let's just go to New Zealand dollar real quick. If up here, when it was doing this, there was so much news for the dollar, and the news was so good for the dollar that it made this whole move down. And if you were keeping up with the dollar and everything it was going with, then you would have ride this wave every time. You would have sold, pull back, sell again, sell one more time, drop, sell one more time, drop, sell. You just keep selling at supply, because you know that there was some major news around this area after the COVID, like somewhere into the COVID situation. And obviously, when you trade news, you got to have a strategy to go with it. My strategy: supply and demand and Wyckoff. So supply and demand Wyckoff will always go with bank movements. Tap, 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 come back to the supply again, wicket, we're done. Because it created liquidity. It was liquidity off the supply zone, drop. And then every time it dropped, kept making supply. This is a new supply. And some of this probably on lower time frames, supply. So every now there's a lot of uncontested supplies to sell off of. Now it's on a downtrend. If it come up here, sell. Up here, sell. Back up here, sell. It's downtrend. We're looking for supply zones to sell off until it finally gets somewhere and start turning back around. But all right, well, that's the update that we have. Hopefully we can tune in a little bit more, like we've been doing with the homework. You guys do have homework y'all got to do, and so you can get the understanding high probability trade setups and go have us a good week. I will see you on the next Zoom call that is on, let's see, what's it today? Sunday. So Monday. See you Monday.